Hey everyone, in the previous video we learned how to write our multi-line text centered in our text area. That would be enough for write the text in our magic card, but there is one additional problem, that is the flavor text that we have to spare space to write to. So if you go up here, we can see that there is this smaller text here that doesn't have any effect on the actual magic card game. So we need to spare space for this kind of text here as well. We can see that it doesn't occupy a half of the text area. It occupies a smaller portion than a half, but there is still a portion that we need to spare for it. So let's check in this video how to actually do this. We use here in the previous videos before an artifact for us to measure the size of things. So this is the full text area. We can use the same function to check how the given portion of the flavor text would look like. So the flavor text will be down here, so we need to increase that. It will start from this area here and have the same width. So this variables here are going to be this one here, and the x will be the same. We need to change the y and the height. So if we consider, I don't know, maybe 50% of the actual size of the text area, if we spare 50% for our flavor text, we would need to go here and move this y coordinate to the middle of the text area. So we need to sum the text area height here, but multiplied by 5. And then here in the height needs to be a half of the actual height. So I need to multiply it by this value here. So it will look like this size if we use 50%, but it seems too big. So let's use 70% to the text area and 30% for the flavor text. So here we need to use 7.7 for the y coordinate to move 7% here. But the height needs to be 30% of the total height. So we put this .3 here. So this size here looks okay, and is the actual size that I'm using for this project. So let's use this portion, but be in mind you can play with it with these values here. So now let's create a function to write our text and flavor text. Since the text and the flavor text are coupled, because the size of the areas they will occupy needs to be balanced between the two by this value here. So we need to create a function that will draw the text at the same time. So let's write card text and flavor. Oops. Here we pass the card, ability text and flavor text. Since this function is more tight coupled to our domain here and not just a generic function to write things, we may use the variable names as this: card, flavor text, and ability text, more specific to our domain. So let's create a variable here, total text area width 321. I already have this here. Then total text area height, let's place it 136. Oops, 36. Then total area x coordinate will be 38. Then total area y use 355 here. Text total text area here. Okay, so now we need to think a little bit, because in case there is no ability text and just flavor text, we need to write the flavor text using the whole space centered. In case there is ability text but no flavor text, we need to do the same. That write the text here, occupying all the available space. And in case there is both, we need to divide it using this .7 factor. So we need first to check whether there is an ability text. In case this parameter here is known or an empty string, this will be false. So we can do this. Okay, so now we need to also check whether there is a flavor text. So in case there is the ability text and there is a flavor text, the ability proportion text area needs to be 70%. And in case there is not a flavor text, the ability proportion should be 100%. Okay. And here, if there is no ability text, we may fix our ability text proportion as 0%. Ability proportion. So with these values here, we can define how the text area will be split between the two texts. So now let's go here, ability text y. It will start as the total area y, and the ability text height will be the total text area height multiplied by the ability proportion here. So it will take this whole size here and multiply by this factor. In case the factor is 0, this will be 0. In case it is 100%, it will be the total text area height. So now we need to do the same for the flavor text. So the flavor text y will be, if you have both of the text, the flavor text needs to start at the end of the ability text area. So it is the actual height of the text area, the ability text area. So we may use this as the ability text y plus the ability text height. And for the flavor text height, we need to get the total area height here and subtract by the area used by the ability text. So if the ability text uses 70% here, it will subtract until remains 30%. And in case there was no ability text, this value here will be 0. So this will occupy the whole text area. So now that we have the coordinates, we need to check again whether there is these text. So we may go and do, if there is an ability text, our card will receive the function we defined before, centered within box. So here we pass our card, our ability text, the total text area x, the total text area y, the total text area width, the total, oops, to height. No, actually here, it is the ability text. I missed things here. For the ability text, we need to pass the ability text y coordinate. For the height, you need to pass the height. And these two are going to be the same. Okay, so now we pass the font asset for this text. Be fonts text.ttf, oops. And then the minimum font size and the maximum font size. Let's place it in here. So okay, so for the ability text, we pass our image card, the ability text, the total area x, that is this coordinate here, the total area width, this size here, the ability text y, that is where it's going to start, the ability text, and the text ability text height, that is where it is going to, the amount of height it will occupy. So okay, so in case there is a flavor text, we can do basically the same thing, but just changing the variables. So for the flavor text y, I'm going to pass it here. The flavor text height, I'm going to pass it here. And actual font face is named flavor text. The minimum font size will be 8, and here will be 14. So, and of course here we need to pass the flavor text. Oops, flavor text. So you need to pass the card, the flavor text, the total text area x, the flavor text y coordinate, the total text area width, and the flavor text height. And then pass the font face here. And okay, so then we can return our card. If everything is fine, we can go here, gotta get our text card. So if you go here, there's nothing written on it. Let's place here some empty strings. Let's see what happens. Whoops, text area y. Where is it? Here. This should be total text area. Okay. Okay, empty string. So test ability text. Let's see what happens. Our text ability is proper written here. And then test flavor text. So our flavor text is written here, and if we remove this, our flavor text is written here using the full space. So if you go here and use our lowering, what happens? Yeah. And if you go here, it will probably overflow. Yeah. But we can see that it did not overflow between one another, but occupied the more or less the amount of space we defined. So if we go here 100, 100, no, here let's put 200. No, 100, here let's place 50. Okay. So our function is working properly, and now we are done here with this part of the tutorial. So we can use this function to write finally our ability text and our flavor text in our card. So the next thing we are going to see is how to write the power and the toughness of the card down in this box here. So stay tuned. Bye bye.